What is going on, folks? It is Steiner with another episode of Secondhand Talent. Thank you so much, as always, to Luke Chu for the desk candy, and thank you to Tiny Steiner, my tiny co-host, and thank you to Mark Spooster for the shirt. But most importantly, from Star Crumbs, thank you to this week's guest, Nick. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Happy to have you on. That was the most robotic response I've ever gotten.
Well, I got this thing in my mouth now, and I'm like trying not to have it fall off.
You got stuck. No, in all seriousness.
Nope. Thank you.
It's first time, long time. It's been for me even because we have a mutual friend who's been on the show, who's been recommending that you come on the show for a very long time, and I'm glad we finally.
We love Jesse.
We love Jesse. Jesse, we love you. Glad we finally get to make that happen.
Hell yeah.
And I'm curious to hear your reaction, not from me because it didn't come from me, but when Jesse first told you there was a podcast you had to be on, and it was called Secondhand Talent.
Okay, yeah.
What did you think it was about? Like, what's the first thing that came to your mind?
Secondhand Talent.
Think back.
I guess I was just glad it wasn't third leg talent. Because that's going to be a whole different podcast that I don't know that I would want to go on.
So
third leg talent featuring tripod.
Allegedly. So my favorite part, and I think I say this in every episode, my favorite part about that question is that over 100 episodes later, I still get unique answers. I don't think I've ever gotten the same answer twice.
Nice.
But like, I'd like to hone in just for a second, if you please, on the first part of what you said, because I do appreciate that was funny. I'm not going to let that one slide. That was definitely funny. I laughed. But just like, at least it's not third. I've never gotten that answer.
Well, I don't mean it like that. I guess
was that part of the joke? Was that just still part of the joke?
I mean, you know what a third leg is.
Yeah, I know what a third leg.
Yeah,
you don't need to explain it. Like even they know. You don't need to explain it to the audience.
I think jokes are better explained for those.
No, genuinely. Like if you had to like think about it for a second, because it's good to.
You mean think about like what does the name invoke? You mean
when you heard about it, like why would you be requested to be on a show called Secondhand? What could that be about? I
don't know. I just assumed you had like different artists on and stuff, and wanted to maybe learn about the process. I don't know. I heard you had some cool guests on, and Jesse's a friend, so I just was like, let's do it.
So it's really interesting for me going the other way around because, you know, I really sincerely appreciate every guest who's ever on the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But there aren't many people that I get to have on the show who were around, even if we weren't in the same circles, like in Chicago during the era that I was really, you know, gigging and performing, and actually has those reference points, you know, for things that I have been referring to since the beginning of the show. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to a conversation that, you know,
we can talk about the old days.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to
like. I don't know, Irish Eyes. Did you ever go to Irish Eyes?
Whew, pulling it way back. Name out of that.
Lily's. I don't know if Lily's is still around.
Oh, no, it's not still around. There's no way. But like, I mean, that being said,
or like the Gin Mill.
Well, the venue that I know you from,
the Apartment,
is no longer
Bacchus Lions Head Club.
God,
these are all
so many of them. Yeah. I mean, but like you still haven't mentioned the three.
Shout out to Bacchus.
Shame. I mean, it really like it really sucks. And
I mean, where can you go like to get a bottle nowadays and sit down and with your bros and enjoy a bottle? I'm just kidding, but like no, I think that those times are just funny to think about.
In what way?
Oh, just like the culture of just like, you know, what was it? Bottle service.
Oh God. in general.
Yeah.
Oh man, well,
like that's
yeah,
gone. That whole thing is like, I mean, I don't know. It's probably still there.
it exists in pockets.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like
if you go
like if you
downtown,
were like back in the day in Lincoln Park, like there was like every other club would offer bottle service. You're like, what?
yeah, I do remember that. It was like because Double Door did it,
Everybody did
like
it for a while.
Kinetic did it.
Yeah.
I think Abby even had
I think
bottles
we
on the
even did it at
menu.
one point, maybe. I don't know.
We being
Like at the Tonic Room, yeah,
yeah. So
where you played.
one of the early venues that I prefer, and like people have heard me talk about Double Door and Abbey Pub and Kinetic a lot, but Tonic Room hasn't come up as much just because it to this day it kind of looking back at the
It was a
acts.
smaller piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, of course, but like they all were
No,
in their own
it
special,
was fun.
unique
It was fun.
ways, pieces of shit.
Do you
But
remember when the Abbey was on Bar Rescue
I thought you were gonna say on fire.
and on fire?
Yeah, I do.
I think they might have been related.
That was a little after after my time like performing there. But
I used to legit watch Bar Rescue and be like, he's got some good ideas.
I mean,
What a time.
the reason I haven't brought up Tonic Room as much though is not because it's a place that I haven't performed, but it's a place that I remember more for the acts that I saw play there. It was always so cool to me how there would be these just like random shows of like extremely cool people. And like if you show up to the Tonic Room, like you're probably going to get a good night of music.
Yeah.
And unlike the other three, it's one that I remember far more for performances that I've seen rather than performing at.
Nice. What were some of your favorites?
I mean, every time Diener played there was just fucking wild. Like,
Nice.
Chance played there.
Yeah.
I think Vic Mensa did too once. Those shows were. I mean, that it's just really special. I mean, on one level with Diener, who's big shit, and leave Diener alone, by the way. He's big shit, and then you have Chance, who's also big shit in a completely different realm, playing this tiny little hole in the wall.
I remember when Izzo, who was our DJ at the time, he said to me one time, said, "You got to let this kid in. He's 19, but he's going to blow up." And I promise you, I never let anybody in like that. But for some reason, I believed Izzo. It ended up being Chance. And Chance was always super grateful of that.
I mean, I remember that. And it was such a fucking throwdown.
Yeah.
Because I think that it was like right on the cusp where you can
the energy
see
was really hot.
it was palpable.
Yeah.
Like you could really feel the momentum and like that, like things are like actually moving in real time and being around.
And he was all independent too.
No, the amalgam of having so many people around such a small place at that time. I mean, it was also very like as someone who was about to make a mistake and call myself an artist, but as a performer,
we're all artists. I feel that.
No, we are. But as a performer, which I felt I was more of, it was great to be able to have conversations with people that I looked up to in that kind of a setting. That's what the Tonic Room really meant to me.
Nice.
Like being able to have conversations with folks that like, to me were way the fuck up there. But like, except for that little triangle, we're all on the same floor at the Tonic Room.
Right. Yeah.
And just, a unique quality that really not any other venue.
The room was definitely not built for music, but we made the best of it,
Good times were had. Speaking of music, how did you what are your nobody's born a venue owner. What are your roots in music that kind of brought you up?
Okay. Feel like I'm always just listening to something different. I do remember I always liked like horns and ska when I was really young, and I remember like maybe freshman or sophomore year of high school. I think sophomore, maybe. I met this guy Bob, and he was like, "You've never heard of funk music?" He's like, "Funk has the best horns." And then I sold all my ska CDs. I think I sold 20 CDs for like $80 to my sisters or something, made them buy them, and then went out and bought The History of Funk Volume 1 through 5 at Best Buy.
Oh yeah, I remember those albums.
Dude, those were great.
Those collections were so good.
And then I don't know, from there it just like, I mean, I was a Fish fan at the same time. I wouldn't say I like listened to them, but I just always liked going to see them, you know.
What was your first concert? Do you remember?
My first Fish show was Champaign '96.
Okay.
They opened with Runaway Jim. I think there was a 2001 in there. Can't recall the rest.
But that's enough that it's memorable where you're like.
I remember Mr. Myers was there. He was like I never had him as a teacher, but he was a high school teacher. And he was cool enough to show up at the Fish show.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And have all the kids like pass him a bowl and be like, "I can't."
And this is before cell phones or anything. Like nobody would have even gotten like a video of him or anything, like unless somebody had like a fucking.
I have another story from that show.
Go for it.
Our friend was working as the photographer for like the Champagne paper, like that main photographer, editing photographer, and like for some reason he like let us. I was still in high school. He like let us send a package from Colorado of fungus to his office, and it didn't get there. It got delivered to like some other office because the address was written wrong. My buddy screwed over, wrote the wrong address, but the people knew his name from being on the photographer, and they tracked him down and handed him the package.
They didn't open it?
Didn't open it.
Oh my God.
And then we went home. We went home after here, like we were like, "Oh my God, are we gonna get busted? Like, what's going on here?" And then when he opened it, and then like we didn't get busted, we ate some and went to the show. And he has like, I remember like he had awesome photos from like kids. He could be in between the partitions, and I just remember like awesome photos from my first Fish show. I've got them somewhere.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Funny story. When so this was a Secret Santa gift. Thank you very much. You know who you are. And when I opened it up, there's like a bunch of edibles in it. I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, nice.
Like, that's awesome. Like, I'll take that to work. And
like food?
Yeah, like some little chocolates. And allegedly. And when it's like Monday morning after Christmas, and I'm in the office, and I open up the cup, thinking there's just a couple of chocolates in there. I'll just put them in my pocket. It'll be fine, right? I'll make some coffee. And
they're mushrooms, not fucking.
Well, I poured out a layer of edibles and just saw like a big white bag. And I was like, "What's that?" And I fucking pulled it out, and it's just like a big, like a way too big bag. Like it shouldn't fit inside this cup of mushrooms. And I'm at work. I was like, "Oh God!" Like,
oh yeah,
I couldn't get it back in the cup. Like it was like once it was out, like it was out, and like there was a window on the bag.
You couldn't get it back in the tube.
Exactly, and I was just like trying to shove it, but I'm like, fucking, I just shove it in my pocket and like tighten, nothing's happening, and oh my God, that was
yeah. When you're young, you really think anything. Someone's like looking, like no one's looking at what you're doing.
Nobody gave a shit.
I remember, yeah, just like going to the gas station and just like thinking they'll know. That phrase always stayed with me. Like, they'll know. They know. Like, what? They know you're...
How?
They know you're 14 and high?
Yeah, nobody bothers
to you just bought a Snickers bar. It's like, and some beef jerky, and the whole time you're like, they fucking know. They know.
And then you never ask what? You never ask how? You never ask why? Just don't question it. You're just like 14 and want a Snickers.
Like, as if the fucking gas station attendant cares that you're high. Like, what was I thinking? Anyway,
Being worried about the wrong people.
I'm gonna write a song called They'll Know. They
They'll
know.
know. They know.
They know.
They know.
Or
They
or a
know.
horror
They know.
movie.
They know. They know. But getting back to the topic, so you start loving funk,
Like funk, yep.
and when did you start playing?
Drums I started playing in sixth grade actually. Or fifth grade, actually. On the snare drum. They give you the snare drum.
Just
And then you stick with it, and then my dad was like, all right, I guess he's sticking with it. So he bought me a drum set like a year or two later. After my next door neighbor had a drum set, and I would just go over there all the time. That was pretty lucky. Um, yeah, and then I just started playing guitar like 3, 4 years ago, and that's been really fun.
so was there any, I mean, did you do anything with playing drums, or was it just kind of something you kept in your back pocket as you went through like the rest of it?
Of the rest of high school, you mean, or what do you mean?
Well, so you learn drums when you do, and then did you have
Okay.
any like high school bands, or did
Oh
you
yeah, I'm
like,
a two-time Battle of the Band high school winner. It's probably
okay, way to bury the lead.
it's it all went downhill from that point on. It's like
Okay, wait.
yeah.
Wait, what were the winning songs of Battle of the
I
Bands?
don't remember the songs. I do remember. See, my dude, this is what I like feel sad about for kids now. Like, granted, I went to the biggest one of maybe the biggest high school in Illinois, Stevenson High School.
Hmm.
I remember freshman year of high school for Battle of the Bands tryouts. We didn't get in the first year. Um, we didn't get into a lot of stuff. Because there'd be like a sign up poster boards, and you'd have like 80 bands freaking sign up. And then there'd be like review boards. You'd go and audition like one or two songs, and then they'd pick, 8 bands to compete in the thing. Um, but sophomore year, we made it in with a ska band called Free Beer,
Hmm.
and that was really fun. And
You
then
won a Battle of the
we
Bands
won
contest
the
with a
battle
ska song?
with a ska band. Right? Yeah. I mean, what, it was fucking 95 or something.
Oh yeah, well that would be the time to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I think at that time, Mighty Mighty Boss Towns was like my favorite
I was
band.
gonna say there's also Real Big Fish, but wait a minute. So relate that to why you feel bad for kids today. Because as a former teacher, I know where you're going.
No,
with
because
this,
like
but-
yeah, like now I guarantee there probably isn't even 8 bands in that high school right now is my guess. Like they probably still have a battle. I hope they still have a battle of the bands, but if they do, like there's just like not a lot of bands like there used to be.
And they still have, and what's interesting about Stevenson is that would be a school that I would imagine still has relatively the same, if not more resources.
Right.
And that's the thing about instruments.
Well, I just think the culture changed, so they all want to be DJs now, maybe. And like
Is that it?
maybe
Because
you're
I taught for
Ableton.
the last 5 years, and I just, for
I don't
me, it was just I don't think I had my last year of teaching. I don't think I had a single student that played an instrument.
Right. That's it's weird.
It's really, but like they weren't like involved. Like they all listened to music all day.
That's
I mean, they
good.
all had their headphones in all day.
Yeah.
With like to a painful degree, but like there is something to be said for that. There just aren't that many like just like
Well, there's no MTV. Like when we were kids, it's like you wanted to be on MTV and like be in a band.
Yeah.
And now that's not even an option. The kids don't even know about it. Also, like I remember watching the Disney Channel as a kid, and often you may be too young, but Kids Incorporated. Do you remember that show?
Sure.
Like all the kids like had a band. And like that was like what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in like the Kids Incorporated band, and like I don't know that kids that they have that now.
Yeah, there's no, one of the
For many reasons.
Well, the format of this show in particular, like I like seasons, I like episodes, new episodes every Wednesday, folks. It just came straight from South Park. Like, I mean, that's what I grew up with. That's what's, normal and regular to me. The trends that I see or have seen in my former students are absolutely viral content, instant
Yeah, my son wants
gratification,
to be Mr. Beast. He
fail.
doesn't want to be a musician. He wants to be Mr. Beast, you know?
Right.
We
But
didn't have that option.
so I want to know how you feel about this then, having a kid who's like around that age. So, I taught sixth grade and I taught high school.
Hmm.
So sixth, ninth, and 11th grade were the primary grades that I taught English. And my argument is that, when we were growing up, okay, I mean, you go around the room and you ask how many people want to be an athlete,
Hmm.
right? NBA, NFL, MLB,
Hmm.
80% of the room in any
Okay.
given public school. Fair?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, sounds right.
I say my theory is you just swap out the word athlete for influencer
Right.
and push them together, and you still have about the same ratio.
Affluencer.
Affluencer, influite. But that's my contention. Would you say that that's accurate, or?
I don't know. But if you think the data shows that,
Well,
I
if
would
you're
agree.
saying,
I think
well, that's just my personal
I love that when
observation.
I ask
If
my
you're
son what he
telling
wants to do,
me,
he says he wants to be a plumber so that he can afford to play as much soccer as he can. I'm like, how did you get so smart? I'm like, be a plumber so you can afford to play as much soccer
that's
as you can.
genius.
I'm like, dude, you figured it out way before me.
Oh
Like,
my,
I
yeah,
hope he's 9. And I'm like, I asked him the other day, I was like, Isaac, do you still want to be a plumber so you can play as much soccer as you can? He's like, yeah, Dad. So he's like, that's my plan. I'm like,
that's incredible.
stick with it, buddy.
Well, every time I would have a student who would tell me that they hey, you think about college? No, like I don't think it's for me. I'm thinking about being an electrician, a
Yeah. You're
plumber,
like,
and
hell
like,
yeah.
go forth, my son.
Yeah. Like, you
Like, go
figured it out.
forth and be successful. Like,
Right.
you do what you do. You, if you have a knack for it, if
That's
you're
what I'm
interested in
hoping
it.
he sticks to that. So
Well, it's a like again,
he can do whatever he wants. I'm
as
just
a
saying.
former teacher though, that's a great path.
It is.
That's a
Yeah.
great like knowing yourself is the first major hurdle.
I like to say plumbers save more lives than doctors.
Electricians for sure.
Well, yeah, I think
HVAC.
I would say you
I
can't.
mean,
Well, I mean, yeah, heat too, but like you can't save people's lives if the sewage is running everywhere. It's pretty
you can't. There's
unsanitary.
only a certain amount of shit you can wade through.
Yeah, the hospital's got to be clean before they can be helpful.
Yes, sepsis is real. That's definitely not something you.
That's my tattoo. It's like it. I got a monarch butterfly to cover it up on my lower back, but it used to say sepsis is real.
Shut the fuck up.
My lower back.
Sepsis. Oh God! Like folks, in case you can't tell, this is
We have fun here.
This is a non-traditional interview, folks. We're just chilling.
There's two guys.
We're glad you're here along for the ride. Like and subscribe if you like the show. Tell a friend. If you don't, tell me why. But
fill out the complaint forms.
I kind of want to get back to that topic though, because I think that that's reflected in the lack of diversity and amount of bands that we're seeing come up. I can kind of count on one hand or maybe two the amount of bands that are really making a name for themselves. Let's just say in the jam scene.
Oh, jeez.
And it used to be
it's always been a hard genre.
right. But 10 years ago, there were twice as many bands.
Well, it's because like it's a hard genre to like.
But my point is, you're not that you're wrong, but the replenishment is not keeping up with the pace of retirement.
Are finding different kinds of music. I do feel like people are really pushing it forward, though. Like, are you a Corey Wong fan at all?
I appreciate.
Dude, I'm blown away at everything I hear, and I'm just like, this guy's like, just when you go to the show, it's like, yeah, this is like a jammy show, but also he really just moves shit forward, man. I'm like so into it.
That's everything I've heard about Billy Strings too, is that he's a troubadour.
Yeah.
And that, I haven't seen a Billy show yet, but
I went one time.
Everything that I hear is like, he is the fucking leader of the band and he fucking runs the show. And it's fucking like,
I want to see him again. I had like a weird experience where like the people around me were just not awesome. And so I don't blame the show on him. It's just like,
stop talking when the band is playing, folks. But yeah, that's
Or just like if someone's in your seat and you're not, and you're
don't
like 4 seats over, like it's not a big deal.
don't sit in someone else's seat though. Like it's a seat. Like there's a specific row.
Yeah, but if it's empty, if the whole row's empty, and
Oh, if
you're
the whole
like,
row's empty,
yeah,
then go for it. Yeah, no, no, no.
just
I
like,
co-sign that. If the whole row's empty, then go for it. But um, even outside of Jam, I just feel like, first of all, I feel like half the names on Lollapalooza's lineup every year at this point are AI generated. I don't feel like those are real. Like they're just putting syllables together and seeing what works. Um, but like if they are, and they are just all DJs, like how do you see the future of live full band music?
I don't know. I mean, I think if it's always going to be around. I think as AI becomes more prevalent, people will be pushed back to acoustic music and just like the pendulum's always swinging. So like, yeah, I remember when like dubstep was around and like huge, and then it was like all of a sudden it wasn't. I just feel like shit's always changing and evolving, and
I
I'm not worried about it at all.
I
I
just
think some of the best music ever has come out in the last few years, personally.
what would you say?
Dude, I mean, the women are crushing it right now. Like May Earlwine, um,
Jen
Saint,
Hartswick's last album was awesome.
I don't know it. But I know her, she's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, May Earlwine, Madison Cunningham, um, Saint Vincent, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and like there's more.
I mean, Kanika Moore is killing it right now. Michaela Davis, there's a whole bunch who have been in the Heady Wax Fiends record club that we've been putting out lately.
Yeah, Lindsay Lou, Sierra Farrell,
absolutely. I mean, these are. I mean,
Molly Tuttle,
Tuttle.
Like,
No, I just sound like an echo.
I don't think I can name 6 dudes right now that are crushing making tunes, but I'm not listening to that just because I mean, not that I'm not, but I'm just like, the women are fucking crushing it right now. That's what I'm saying. Like they just are.
It's undeniable, and I'm gonna throw out there that
like Madison Cunningham's guitar playing and songwriting is like
my favorite
insane.
musician to see live right now. If I could pick one, I'm grateful to be going to see her again in February. Is Holly Bowling.
Okay, yeah,
She's just like, for me, like watching her do what she does to a piano live, it's every time just one of the fucking coolest things I've ever seen. And she is gratefully coming back around in a few months from the time of this taping to Garcia's. I already have my tickets for that show. We've chatted about it at the time of this taping. It's not confirmed. But she's I mean, hands down, my favorite musician to see live right now.
Oh wow.
Like I think
like she just played like solo or with a band?
Solo.
Yeah.
I mean, I did catch one Ghostlight show, and she was great.
Does she sing too or no?
She sings backup vocals sometimes. With Ghostlight, she doesn't lead as far as I know. I think Raina took all the lead vocals for those songs.
For my money, I gotta say Molly Tuttle's right hand is not that it's better or worse than Billy String. It's just different, but like her right hand is just a taste I prefer more than Billy Strings. I know that might sound
all right,
that's controversial to folks out there, but she's so fucking wicked.
And folks, if you're listening to us talk about these women and you don't know who they are, please go check out their music because you're missing out. Their music is fantastic, and you're just not getting all of contemporary music if you're cutting out.
Oh, for dudes, I want to throw out Tim Easton. He's the shit right now.
Tim Easton?
Yeah, I really like him.
And your buddy Mark. Your buddy Mark is crushing it right now, too.
Yeah.
Mark Lavengood.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, check out Mark Lavengood.
There's definitely...
You should have him on the show.
Mark, come be on the show.
You can make that happen.
It's just... It seems to me, I think I think they're called Big Blitz out of Pennsylvania. This little trio with like 2 horns and a drummer. that I thought they were fucking phenomenal when I saw them. Sickard Hollow out of Nashville, Stormy Cromer
I like that
from
band Two Jackson and Jill.
Two Jackson Jill are
No,
great. Stormy
that's
Cromer
a Spinal Tap joke, I believe,
from the
or no,
Tonight We're
Destiny
Gonna
Child or
Rock You
something.
Tonight, part two.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love Harry Shearer. But
He's the best.
it's
Did you watch that new one?
no, I didn't.
It's funny.
I didn't. So what's interesting is you and I, even though I was just a performer attendee there and you owned it, we parted from the Tonic Room at about the same time. Around the time you sold it is around the time I moved out of the country. And I remember very distinctly because it was after the initial COVID rush when I got back to Chicago. So it was September of 2020. And at that point, even by 2016, I mean, it wasn't a shock that, some venues closed, but I remember the feeling that I had when I came back and Tonic Room wasn't there anymore. And I've always been curious to ask, I haven't had this opportunity with any of the other previous venue owners, but A, what was the impetus for selling it and moving on? And, B, kind of flashing forward a little bit, how does it feel that it's not there? Does it make you feel any sort of way?
So first part is why did I sell it? I had done it for a long time, like I think maybe 14 or 15 years at that point. And my son was just born that year. And I was just looking to do something different, not really be out every night. And then like he was waking up at like 5 a.m. every day, sometimes 4:30, and it was just like not the schedule I wanted to be on anymore. And like my neighborhood weirded me out after like super early mornings when I have to walk him out, and I was like, we just got to get the hell out of here. So
Talking about the neighborhood around the Tonic Room?
No, just like where I was living in Logan at the time. And only because it was like early mornings, I'd have to like walk him to get fresh air at like 5 a.m. And it just had a couple weird scares where it's just like, it's not the best air. I had to like walk your kid at like 4 when it's still dark out, and then I had the opportunity to sell it to Donnie, who was the booking agent there for a long time, and he was going to like keep it the same and keep the same staff, which he did for a really long time. And then COVID hit, and then, they survived COVID and then reopened after that with like a new name. And then, but I don't feel any sort of way about it. I mean, I'm happy I sold it, and I wish it like went better for him. He's running a great bar club now. He sold the Tonic Room too. The Golden Dagger too, and he's got
that was the name.
Yeah, he's got a great bar now called Bobby's. So, and the artwork, the old Tonic Room artwork is up there now. So I feel pretty good about it. And like,
oh, that's good.
Yeah. And it's a great spot. I don't know. There's shit changes, and you just like, I'm like a pretty sentimental dude about shit in general, but I'm trying to like not be. So, just shit changes.
It absolutely does, and you're not wrong. I mean, it's it was. I can say though, and I know the perspective after having done this show long enough and having talked to as many independent venue owners as I have, that it's not easy operating it, and especially Tonic Room was open late, so it I'm sure it took a toll, and it's just like like you were kind of saying, like at a certain point in your life you have to kind of face like, is this lifestyle sustainable and compatible with the reality, not just the things or aspirations that you want to do, but like a very real child that exists, So I think that's like I think the epitome of moving on for the right reason. owning up and like saying like
I'd
there's
started it when I was 23 too. I was pretty young. And then before that, I'd worked at a live one for 2 years. So I'd been on that street for maybe 17 years, before I sold it. And I feel like that was enough, you know?
that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of time. Now that I think about it. Do you ever get like feel like kind of like misty or reminiscent about like
Like maybe when I'm watching old videos that I like from there, on YouTube and stuff, but like not once am I ever just like, man, I wish I still owned the Tonic Room. It's like,
that's fair.
yeah, no, I'm pretty, you know, pretty okay with it.
So at what point did you decide to start up Star Crumbs? Is that the first, like, did you move?
So
So because 3 years is pretty recent. I mean, definitely
yeah, about 3 years ago.
post-COVID,
So like, was writing during COVID,
okay.
and I was writing a bunch of different, all kinds of shit. I was writing screenplays and just it just gave me time to write and writing lyrics. And I had made like, I don't know, just started recording with my buddy Matt. Shout out to Matt Roberts. We just put out a song out last week called Alchemical Children. Check it out.
Link in the description.
Matt is the shit, by the way. He played with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard once at the Riviera. I saw him on the encore. They had him out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's just like the greatest musician. But Matt like moved kind of near my house. We just started making music. We probably had recorded like 10 songs that like went nowhere and they just dead ended, but we kept recording. And then I realized we had like two different styles of stuff here. We had like a country record and then like a funky kind of thing. And so I was like, I just like kept pursuing those tunes. And I just like, when it came time to put them out, I was like, well, fuck, what do I do here? Because I don't want to put out a country record under this name of this band and then my next record is like a funk record and people are like, oh, I like the country record, or vice versa. I like the funk record. I thought you were a funk band, or whatever. I just didn't want to like deal with the stigmas of whatever, which I know nobody's listening anyway, so none of this matters. But like in my own head, I'm like,
hey,
like
I get it. I get it, man.
When Trey says like in Bittersweet, what happens when you get famous for painting circles and all of a sudden you want to start painting squares? That always stuck with me or whatever. So I was like, well, okay, well, let me just make a moniker that's like Star Crumbs to me implies like we are all stars or like stardust, but maybe we're bigger than stardust and some of us have crumbs. And so like me and all my friends, that was the best thing about the Tonic Room is like I met all the best musicians and I'm still friends with a lot of them. And so a lot of them like don't write a lot of music and are underutilized, I think. And I write a lot and I don't, and at the time I didn't get to record a bunch. So I'm like, I'm just going to not focus on playing out and just focus on writing. And so then when it came time I had these 2 records done and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to put them out on the same day. I just waited till they were done and I was like, surprise, Star Crumbs is here. Here's 2 albums of 2 completely different genres of music. And then now that to me gave me the like a rite of passage to do any style of music I want. I can do
it breaks a certain barrier where all of a sudden, like by putting both out at once, you're like, is it this or this? And it kind of gives you the artistic freedom for all of the space in between.
Right. That's why. And so I did that. And then I just kind of furthered that kind of thing. I did a record with Charlie Otto, who I love. And then I did a record with Mark Lavengood, who's also awesome. And then I wrote some tunes with Papa John Gross from New Orleans. And actually, earlier today, I was writing horn lines for that with my brother Greg Jacks. I'm in his band too. Shout out to Greg. Yeah, he's been a blessing. Just meeting him was like so awesome. And then we've just been doing that.
It would be remiss for me not to point out that that's a very like Brown thing to do, is to put out a country album and then like any other like genre. Like, I mean, because
Yeah.
that's like, I mean, it's right out of the Ween playbook.
Well, it
I
is. And
mean,
I'm, like I definitely like Ween rubbed off on me.
they
Like,
do that to a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It gets
not that I
all
sound
over.
anything like them. I just like that idea of like you can play any kind of song you want. Like,
It was the most curious thing to me when I was first learning about their music that like you could juxtapose the Mollusk and 12 Golden Country Greats, and it's like how like what
for
like
me, the thing about Ween that I always just loved is like whoever the fuck the A&R person was that heard Godween Satan was like they got the goods, and then they sign him, and then they put out the pod, and they're like, nope, you're still signed, and then they put out Pure Guava, and they're like,
yeah,
nope, you're still signed. And like, to me, I don't mean it to be like those records suck, they're literally like my favorite albums of all time.
yeah.
But like, I'm weird, and just the fact that like, I'm obviously it resonated with millions of people, but like whoever that A&R person was that like really fucking heard that and was just like, oh my God, there's something there. Like, God bless that guy.
Amen. Because who in their right mind today would hear a
Dude,
record like that and be like, yes, this is the next big.
you got the goods. Kid.
You got it. You got it.
It's
My
the
friend.
Attacker.
Like it is true, and I've actually never thought about that. Their first three albums are so different from each
And
other.
they're so weird and uniquely just like
Weird.
so druggy and just like, it's some of the coolest shit ever and hilarious. And like every song's different on every record.
That's kind of, I mean, again, something that I feel like is really mirrored in your releasing two albums. And I think country and put any genre next to that, they contrast each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not like even rock and roll, like country is its own thing, and like even like a country style, to put that out with something else kind of as like a parallel release, like it's a bold move, but like again,
Well, the
like
good thing is no one's listening, so you can do whatever the hell you want. Like, I just encourage people to just put shit out because like nobody fucking cares. Just put it out. It'll make you feel good.
how'd you get to that place? Because that's a tough spot to go. That's like you telling like your kid earlier, like
I've
you
been
got
sitting
it.
on like I was like my best friend Rollin, who mixes all my stuff. He owned a recording studio for the last like 20 years where like all my bands recorded and Umphreys did their records there, and it was called Ivy Lab. It's gone now, but he moved to Austin, and like I just had like a ton of songs that had just been sitting on hard drives over the years that I was like for whatever reason afraid to release. And then I was like, you know what? Nobody cares anyway. And I just like started putting them together, and like this one record I'm thinking of that I made with John and Rollin, and it's a great fucking record. And I didn't even know it was a record until I'm just like, holy shit, we had like 40 some songs, and I just edited it down to like 29 and then put them in an order, and I'm like, holy shit, this sounds like a record. I'm like, why is this just sitting there? And I like put that out too. It's called Denunzio. Starcrums presents Denunzio TV favorites. Some of the songs are like 30 seconds long.
Yeah,
But it's very definitely like Ween inspired and just like comedy stuff, but or humor related.
I think that there's a certain truth to this notion that once you create a certain body of content, whether it be in your head or personally written down or with your own discography or whatever it is, like once you start building that particular library that is so motivational, because it's like there's something out that you've done, and it doesn't matter that no one's listening, right? Like it's something, it feels good for me.
I mean, it's nice to have like personal, like to have be validated and have people listen, but
sure.
Like,
But the perspective,
if I'm being honest, it's one like can I tell you the real reason I record stuff is
please.
because I partied so hard for so many years that I have this fear that I'm going to die early. And so I wanted to record as many songs as I feel are good enough to record and release and put into like album or EP form so that they're like each one's like a concept of some sort, let's say, so that when I die, my kids can listen to my records and be like, oh, he was kind of interesting. Or like,
Wait. That's a whole nother level of. So
that's like seriously like one of my main
was
motivations.
that something that came out from like the
Post
days of,
rehab.
so was this moving, like I'm just trying to like get like a timeline. I was this like moving on from the Tonic Room? Was this pandemic?
This
Is
was
this
like after the
post-pandemic?
pandemic.
Okay.
The pandemic, I was partying really hard. I went to rehab. And then I came out. There was a dude in rehab, Chad Hendricks. Yep, real name Hendricks. And there was a guitar there, and like we weren't allowed to use computers at all, or like our phones. So, for some reason, he like had every Ween song that he could play and like remembered the lyrics to. And then I knew like half the lyrics and could play, kind of follow him along. And so
Right.
I just started like playing Ween songs in rehab, and it kind of got me playing guitar again. And then when I got out, I've always been kind of writing songs, but like I just like really started writing songs. I treated it like a job. I like put on not a suit, but like put on coffee and wake up, put on clothes and like go to another room in the house and sit down and work on music from like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I try to treat it like a job. Um, just artistically, not that I was getting paid, but like
No, but creating that,
and
I
so
mean,
and then
look at where we're at. Creating that separation means everything.
yeah, no, right, like having a space to do that. And I'm wearing a Nick Cave shirt, but I heard him say that one time too. He's like, I put on a suit and I go sit at the typewriter from 9 to 5, and that just stuck with me. And then when I had the opportunity to like do that during COVID after rehab, when I was sober, and then I also broke my knee, or like pulled my ACL or whatever, but torn 3 places, MCL, and so I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna start doing drugs again if I don't do something with my physical body.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm gonna sit here and play guitar all summer and write songs. And then I did, and then I was like, well, I got these, huge batch of songs. Let's see if I can't record them, because I've always been recording stuff. Um, and then I was like, oh, maybe I have a little something here. I'll release it. I need a title. There's two different kinds of music. What do I do? I just like thought about that. Oh, it's been a wild ride, you know.
So, I mean, it is a wild ride, and like what a journey. And I mean, like, and listen, like when you reach those points of like, I need to do something, or I'm gonna go back down this route.
Yeah.
Like having the tools or whatever you got in rehab to have the awareness to make the right choice there.
Yeah.
And figure out a way to expend the energy, because if you're a creative person, you have to create in some form or fashion, and you have to do something, right? And it's a choice at that point if you're aware of that, which is hard for people to get to, but it's, do you or do you ignore it? And you took the path of, I'm going to take this on.
Yeah, I mean, I had to at that point. And, I have relapses and fall down and get back up all the time. But I always just think like, it's that getting back up, and like, that's the important part, And then the phrase I learned in rehab that always stuck with me is, don't let a relapse turn into a collapse.
Mm. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
just like, if you fall off one night, don't let it turn into 3 nights or 5 nights or 2 weeks or a fucking month. Just like, don't feel bad about yourself, because that shame is like what keeps you in that cycle,
Yeah,
and then for me, it really is like, like I gotta be putting these songs out. So, like I said, like today I had to be up early writing horn lines.
Right.
Like, at 11 a.m. I had to be there. So, like, you can't party. So there's just like putting things in your calendar.
Yeah, it creates it so that you don't have, because look, if nothing else, partying takes up time.
Right.
And if you make it so that you don't have time to burn, then you're putting yourself in a position
that idle
where
hands is the devil's plaything.
You're just making responsible decisions at that point, and you're just being like, look, I'm going to silo that feeling because I have other shit that I have already planned on that other people are counting on me for.
I like silo the feeling. I like that phrase.
Well, one way that I had heard it, at a point in my life was, we're all human. We all get knocked down. It's how we get up that defines us.
The Chumbawamba.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not even about like getting back up again. It's the way that we do it.
Hmm.
And the pace and how long it takes, because like some people it
That's a good
takes
point.
longer than others, right?
Great point.
And just because we don't like snap right up instantly
Yeah.
back to it doesn't mean we're down for the count.
I like that. Don't count me out.
Yeah, man, because like, look, like it's also, I think the human mind is a funny thing in that like if you're a creative person and you've been, just writing songs for a while, it's never too late to do something with it or to go to your friends and start a band.
I think you're right. And I think like that's where like people just get so bogged down in it. They're stopped in their tracks before they even start. Like starting is the hardest part or something, because it's just like, just do it. Nobody cares. Just to me, the best part of doing it isn't the release of the record or how many people are listening to it. To me, the fun part is sitting there writing the songs with your friends and then like coming up with the parts and being like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
Like,
and then when you finally find the bit, then it works.
Yeah.
And everything just fucking falls together. And you're like, oh my God, it's like, this is what we all had thought it was in our heads.
Yeah,
and now it's actually that.
Yeah.
Like, not even necessarily when it comes out good, just when it comes out sometimes. But like, I know like there's,
or even if it comes out different than I like it when it comes out way different than you originally thought. And then, but it turns out just completely different and still more interesting.
On that exact point. So I've been I write parodies.
Nice.
Like practicing for stand up and for this, and like to keep my mind, like I like parodying songs and
like Weird Al style, you mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was working on one last summer, last spring, and I think we were in production for season 4 at the time or something like that, and I was genuinely blocked mentally because I had this one part of this parody. It's the silliest thing, but there's this one part of this parody that I couldn't unlock.
Okay.
And I had the click track, like I had the karaoke track that I would sing along to in the car trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I remember I was driving to school one morning and I was just singing it. And then I just out of nowhere came the right words. And I made myself laugh harder than I had in years.
That's what it's all about.
And
right?
I walked into the building genuinely laughing my ass off.
Nice.
And all my students are like, Mr. Steinberg's never happy this early. Like, something's like gotta be like, I was just like, and then like I was able to get through like the rest of the season. I was like, it just unclogged something for me. So there is that to be said for it. But touching on our conversation from way earlier, we are seeing a lot less of that.
Of what
now? I when you were talking about, like, I think about when we were younger and in school, we were really like pushed into playing instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when like STEM first started, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math, right? No STEAM, they added an A to it, but I think it really, the resources that, not saying that stuff's not necessary, but the resources that went to those programs were taken away from places.
Well, yeah, there's just less resources for sure.
There's less resources for music, and then there's less interest in it.
And every kid has an iPad, so it's just like, you can't win.
It's one of those things where I'm genuinely like, as, a father, right? And a musician, why do you think that is with this current generation that we're seeing that this
why? Because I mean,
or
you don't want to know my answer. Trust me. This is a long thing, and you just don't want to go there.
Okay, fair enough.
It's systemic. It's built into the system. It's not a defect of the system. It is the system. If we're going there,
just the natural flow of the way that things are into monetized orders, or
I don't want to talk about this, but I can say this.
Well, we can,
Well, no,
yeah.
I mean, I don't mind talking about it. I just think like, I mean, you're talking to like the conspiracy
Okay, all
dude.
right,
So like,
fair enough, fair enough,
I
fair
just
enough.
think, we're like, this is a, this is the blueprint. Like, they don't want your kids to play music. Fair and simple. They don't want you happy. So I don't know
I
who they
think,
is. I'm not gonna say. I
yeah,
don't fucking know.
yeah.
But like,
I think, there's something I was listening to the other day where there's this really in this generation, and this is the best way I've been able to relate to it personally,
hmm
is that this younger generation in particular, like think of people who are maybe 15 years or 20 years younger than me, right? Um,
so like 20-year-olds.
no, like, yeah, 20, early 20s to
Okay.
like late teens, like high
Okay.
school grads, like early 20s, right?
Okay.
They don't have any of the context, framing, lived experience, or background that we have growing up without so they are missing this framing as for why things are important, right? And like, so I think the best
Mm,
example that I heard was, what's the point of a compass? And rather than treat
mm,
them like idiots for not knowing that, understand the fact that they don't have any framing for life without GPS.
yeah.
So for them, they're not
Gosh,
asking.
our lives were better, so much better when we had
I
maps.
fully agree.
I'm just kidding.
Fully agree. I mean, like in some aspects, like there were definitely like
I
there's
just I I just miss running my fingers through a map, you know,
you know,
caressing the map.
there's something to be said. It works in both
No, I know, I'm
directions.
just joking, but
It definitely works in both
I think you're right. I
directions.
mean, the technology is it's ruining lives and yet improving lives. It's the great Promethean myth, it's like fire can warm you or burn you.
Or burn your house down. Right, right, right. No, that's a
Actually, like that's my thing right now is trying to embrace technology to not to use it to my benefit um artistically and to better my life without coming over the boundary to where it's heading downhill. And that threshold is the hardest line to see.
mm.
And so um
So finding that
finding that
line,
balance is
yeah.
really hard. Like I'm experimenting with AI videos. Sorry folks if you don't like it. Like I think it's really fucking cool to be able I never had a chance to like make videos before of an idea I had. I've written screenplays and stuff like that. I've never been able to like I mean I have made small films and things like that, but like it's always been really hard. You got to get a crew out there, your friends out there, and it's the best time ever and it's awesome. But I can just sit at home and like come up with an idea and type it in and like get little 7-second snippets. Like that's so fucking cool. On the other hand, if you're just like typing in, Suno, make me a song about this, it's like, fuck, that's so lame. So why do I think the video is cool and not the song? Like, I don't know. I'm probably wrong about it all, but like, I'm enjoying the AI thing because like, I've never made videos and it's just fun.
So like for me, it's kind of similar. Like so with the podcast, we switched over to an AI hosted platform
hmm
and the
So what
assistive.
does that mean?
So exactly. So the assistive device is in there, right? Or what I use AI for,
hmm
right? It helps me create a transcript. It
Oh,
helps
okay,
me
cool.
auto generate chapters for
Oh, very cool.
segments of videos.
Yeah.
It'll
So organizing.
it can
That's Promethean as fuck,
but
dude. That's amazing.
it can chop up your video to
Yeah.
create social media
That's
content.
awesome.
And here's the thing though. It has this it has a really
It's got a mind of its own.
it's got
Right.
a full suite and a full toolkit. And there's some tools that I just don't use
Sure.
that are just like that's
Too far.
too much
Yeah, yeah.
interference. Like I won't use any sort of like eyesight angle correction technology or and like because what's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking point?
I
You're
gotcha.
just at that point you're just
Right.
making a larger video file
Yeah, yeah.
because again
I'm
nobody's
sorry. I've been like looking at this mic the whole
but no
time
but
instead of
also
looking at you,
but
to which I
nobody's
realized halfway
watching.
through. Yeah, yeah.
Nobody's
They're here
watching.
listening anyway, you mean?
I mean the numbers that
Do
I
you mean they're
see
listening or not watching,
no
or
but
or just not interested in general?
in general the same
Yeah.
way no one listens to your music.
Yeah, right. It's just, but you don't do it for,
That's
you do it
exact
for you,
I have the same
right?
mindset about
So
the
yeah,
show,
right.
which took a very long time to
Like this
get
is fun
to.
regardless. And then over time, it's like if you do find your 6 people that fucking love you, great, because like you found your people, and like
Yeah.
you don't do it for them anyway, but it's nice to be like, get some fucking feedback and like
I mean like I
I'm
think
saying
that
that because I have 6 fans. I'm sure you have
but
more. I'm
no
just
no no
saying,
no no
like,
I have one not counting Steiner but I it's so true about finding that group of people but also it is very true that I do this podcast entirely for myself.
hell
I
yeah.
mean for me the knowledge that I've gained from the stories and experiences that have been related to me by
That's awesome.
people that I have like in a lot of cases I've never met them before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, like today,
I
kind of.
meet them
Yeah.
for a couple hours, right? And today is really interesting because like we overlapped and we're in the same place at the same time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
never really
We haven't
met.
ever had a conversation.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. This is our first actual conversation.
Yeah.
And I always
Luckily, we're both jocks and can fucking just
yeah.
vibe out totally great. Like we both are on the football team, competing high schools and stuff. But
Football sports, yeah, that's
anyway,
I did that when I was in school. Got injured playing everyone. But there's something that I've gained from every conversation that I've had. And don't get me wrong, to all of our fans that are around the world, really, we see you, trust me. To to the people who are watching in places like Mexico and India and the
that's cool.
Philippines and it's just
Very cool.
Australia.
Nice.
Thank you, Australia. For some reason, we get
Nice.
a lot of play there.
That's awesome.
And up to everybody in the Netherlands and in Germany who download the show on a regular basis, thank you very much. Like we see you. It means the world to me. But at the end,
To my mom, that is the only person that listens to my albums, thank you. To my sisters that are forced to listen to it sometimes, thank you as well. And to my ex-wife that never listens to my records, no thank you.
yeah. I mean, it's something that like I couldn't see myself doing this for other people.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it's the wrong reason.
it's like one of those things that like if I didn't love stories, what's the point?
Yeah.
But like the one person so far in the journey of this show that this show has really connected with. I know it made a big enough impact on him that he's a part of he's our producer now.
Nice.
So shout out to you, Mario.
Shout.
First true blue
awesome.
diehard fan. Those moments are magical, don't get me wrong. But if you're doing it for that, if you're doing it for the numbers of views or streams or downloads, like then you're in the wrong spot if you want to really see something grow. Like because luck, like lightning luck like that doesn't just happen.
Yeah, I always think of Psy. Gangnam Style, because like that was the biggest at the time, the most viral thing to go ever.
It's the biggest song in the world.
But then of course his name is Psy, so is that a psyop? Did it really go viral? You tell me. I don't know.
I genuinely don't know. I just remember that it was all I heard everywhere and then it was nowhere.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that it was at a period of time where I wasn't living in the US. So like I saw this person like touring all around the world, but the pop culture relevancy was absolutely gone.
My kids love the K-pop.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That
that K-pop Demon Hunters is like
again, maybe I'm old, but
we're listening
like
to it every day, and I gotta say, like, I don't hate it. Shout out to Soulja Boys.
Wait, to who?
They're the Demon Hunters like rivals or whatever.
Shout out to you.
Shout out.
To
Yeah.
Soldier Boys. Is that like Soldier Boy? Like not like
It's like
not
Soja, I think maybe Soja. I don't know what it means. I should check.
Soha. No.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me
Oh, I
pause.
see you know how to order at restaurants.
Yeah. I see you too are a man of culture. I just waved. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk.
Wayne's World.
Yeah. Party on. Speaking of partying on, you got a party on to go see our good friends Terrapin Flyer in a little bit. So before you head out, I just want to ask you before we head out for this week, any words you want to leave our audience with, conspiratorial or otherwise,
Words conspiratorial
or otherwise,
I don't know.
not necessarily conspiratorial. Parting thoughts.
Parting thoughts. Don't do it, folks. Don't go down the conspiracy rabbit holes. There's nothing to be gained. No, I'm kind of serious. Like, there's like no spiritual enlightenment in it, and it's just like once you're down them, it's hard to have that abyss not stare back at you.
Would you say that the opposite is music or art?
Yeah, like creating, right? So like consuming or creating are your two choices. So it's like, and I do consume and influenced by things and then put it into my shit. You know, I got a lot of weird references in my songs, but yeah, you got to be really careful to create more than you consume. Not that I do. I'm down like I've been kind of lazy lately.
But kind of like how you were saying before, like the input versus output level, that's a hard line to see.
Yeah.
Kind of as you put it earlier.
Yeah.
And I think knowing that about yourself and moving
it's good
forward,
to be observant. Yeah.
Moving forward from that operating space is probably, the best thing you can do, as opposed to waiting for a prompt or waiting to be told, because if you don't move it along yourself, no one's going to move it along for you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, folks, this has been a wild, wacky episode of Secondhand Talent. This is Steiner. This is Nick. And we will see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Steiner.
And this is a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun, man. Appreciate that.
There we go.
Sorry, it was...